It's a Mental Health Chat Monday, Season 2. This is a series where we sit down with a brand new guest every week to discuss their journey with mental illness and mental wellness. Because here on Mental Health Chat Monday, our motto is turning mental illness into mental wellness. I am your host, DDare Bionic. Thank you so very much for tuning in with us on this beautiful, gorgeous, and stunning Monday. But I'm not why we're here. You know I'm at DDare Bionic on everything. It's called branding. Look it up. This guest today is someone I have known for what, like 10, 12 years now almost.
So long.
Oh my God, such a long time. We also had a podcast together. It's called Urban Proper. Episodes are still up. You can go and check it out. It is a phenomenal podcast, and we shall hopefully one day get back to it. Stunning, beautiful, gorgeous, and amazing queen of a human being. Shesha is here with us today. How are you, my love?
I am doing great, love. How are you? Thank you so much for the warm welcome.
It's nothing but warm welcomes and loves over here. Like, I'm good. I'm a little tired. I actually switched my shifts around Friday so that I could work, or so that I could be off Friday, so I could have 2 days off in a row because I feel like I've been burning the candle at both ends. But
Ooh, yeah.
I'm feeling a little more relaxed, a little less exhausted. There's still
Okay.
some tiredness because I really don't be sleeping at night. You know how that go. But I'm good. I'm getting into the gig. Things are looking up for me.
I love that for you. I love that you're taking some time with all the busyness and still taking care of you, because those things won't happen without you taking care of you.
Yeah,
So
that's true. Because if I burn out, who gonna direct the show?
who did? Who would
Who gonna
you?
do it? Who was gonna do it? So she should tell everyone out there a little bit about yourself, a little bit about our backstory, how we met, and all that good stuff.
Oh my goodness. So we met at the lovely boathouse in Forest Park in St. Louis, Missouri.
Uh,
Funny thing is, it was an employee that was on their way out and you were on your way in, and
yep.
we met you, and you were like, what, 19, I
Yeah,
think?
I was 19.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And
You were so young back then.
I had just turned 19 too. Like I was freshly 19. I had maybe been 19 for like 2 months.
And then,
Crazy.
yeah, we ended up at the boathouse and being a part of a phenomenal hostess team. We ran that shit like it was the last motherfucking restaurant on earth, like it was a 4 Michelin star place, and our friendship just blossomed from there. And it's just, we've grown as individuals in our friendship, so we've had different ventures with each other, which always yield great fruit. And yes, definitely want to get back to doing urban proper very much soon. This life has been crazy,
Yeah.
busy. And like you were talking about, you have to be careful with not burn the candle at both ends, because you will get burnt out. And so, yeah, a
Very.
little bit more about me. Sorry, my ADD kicking in. Um, Kansas City, Missouri native, lived in St. Louis for half my life. So spent my time in Missouri both ways, both ends of Missouri. And I've been a digital nomad for the last year and a half, almost 2 years. So a little bit about me.
Yes. So let's talk about your nomad nature, because I admire very much your ability and drive to not stay in the same place, and not like in a bad way, but like to not stay in the same place, because to me it feels both with jobs, with life, with everything, being able to move physically and spiritually is such an important skill that I feel like I haven't quite developed completely yet. But talk to me a little bit about how moving and change drives your life.
Oh, you know what? Me being a digital nomad nowadays, it was me stepping out of my comfort zone. Being brought up in a single parent home. We moved a lot. And in my adulthood, my early adulthood, stability was very important to me. And you can attest to that. Like, I've lived in the same apartment for years before I would
Yep.
move.
Yep. Yep.
You know, and you know, being in one place was really important to me. And I feel like in St. Louis, I really built a family outside of the, you know, blood relatives.
Mhm.
And so me, when I got to the point where I just felt like I had kind of outgrown St. Louis to a certain extent, and outgrown is not the word I'm actually looking for, but I felt like I just needed to experience things outside of what my comfort zone was, and I was in the Midwest. Um, and you know, having a remote job, working remotely, definitely helps with that. But you know, just getting out of your comfort zone and just be like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And not failing, I think is definitely a confident boost, because a lot of people will do it and they will fail and they want to retreat. And there's nothing wrong with that, but definitely glad that I was able to land on my feet the way I was, and being able to see other opportunities to go other places. Like, I was in Dallas for a while, and now I'm in Tulsa, taking advantage of their remote program. So yeah, look it up, tulsaremote.com, plug on accident, but yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Like it's so hard for people to like the fear of failing, it stops people a lot of times from
Mhm.
even doing the thing. Like even stepping out on the limb, if you're religious, stepping out on faith.
That.
And you know, I feel it holds me back sometimes. Not even necessarily fear, but just like the uncertainness of it.
Mhm.
It's like I want to quit my job, but like, what am I gonna do if I
Yeah.
don't work? You know, like I do all these amazing things. I do all this like acting and music and directing, and I have now multiple streams of income that are like I've got some great passive income coming in, like, but passive income ain't enough to pay my bills. So,
Right, right.
you know, it's like, when do you just say fuck it and just do it? And I love that fuck it and do it quality that you have. It's been something that I just have admired about you, like our entire friendship. It's like, shit, what's the
Don't
worst
give
thing?
me, I'm over here blushing. Y'all can't see me, but I'm over here blushing. Don't give me blush. But you know, you have to want it, right? I
Mhm.
think it's with the fuck it mentality. You also have to want it just as much as anything. If you want that change, if you want to, I mean, kind of backtrack a little bit. I like to travel in a sense already. You
Mhm.
know, people are like, oh, well, traveling, you know, you get to see different cultures, different countries. You know, just at a short little glimpse, but moving and kind of trying to immerse yourself and learn the city. Um, is an adventure within itself, and just, you, like I said, you just have to want it. You just have to want it, and just time just is it waits for nobody.
It
Waits for
truly does not.
nobody. Yeah, and before I pulled the trigger, I had been talking about moving away from St. Louis for like at least 5 to 6 years.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you know, I'm in my third. I'm in my 30s. I'm 33 now, and I was like, time is getting away from me. I'm just gonna have to do it. Um, and then too, like, I always talk about. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm rambling.
Oh, you're good.
Always talk about one of the last conversations I had with my grandmother. Um, Also, and that kind of helps with the fuck it, just do it mentality. She was on her deathbed at 58 years old, and she was full of regret because she felt like she didn't live her life to the fullest.
Mm.
And I didn't want to be on my deathbed at however old I am and having a life full of like what ifs or I shoulda, woulda, coulda. And I definitely want to look back and be like, damn, I was turned the fuck up. Like, I did the damn thing. Like, I lived my life and I have so many memories all over the place. And I think that's definitely a tribute to the whole, like, just gotta get up and do it.
Yeah. I 110% I agree and I relate. And it's nice to have a partner who also feels that way, who is
Mhm.
like, we just gotta go. Like it just
Yeah.
has to happen. Like we just need to leave.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to get out of here next year or the year after. But also like I have that same mentality of like, or I have that mentality of like, I don't ever want to settle in one place.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why being a performing artist and like traveling and performing in different cities and never really settling in one place feels good to me because it feels like I'm making a home wherever I go.
Yeah. And you just like that's like people think about a home, they think about one singular place. It doesn't have to be a singular place. Home is
Mm-hmm.
wherever you feel comfortable and relaxed. Like as cliche it is, it's where your heart is, and your heart,
Yeah.
could be in a couple of different places. Like with you, you love theater and you love music.
Mm-hmm.
You love doing your podcast, and it's just like passions can be in different places. So yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of this.
Okay.
Open up a can of worms. No, I'm just kidding.
Uh-oh.
So talk to me about your journey with mental health.
Oh man. It has been a journey of discovery, if I had to put a nice little caption to it, because we live in a world of captions. Definitely, growing up in the church in a Black family, mental health, going to like therapy and things like that was something that was unheard of. And when I finally started going to therapy in my mid 20s, started to understand why I had certain feelings or why, um, things just wasn't, it didn't come easy to me like other people did. And it opened my eyes, and it allowed me to give myself a little bit more grace and, not be so hard on myself. I was diagnosed with anxiety and depression, and also with ADHD. So, got an understanding of why I've like I have a conversation and have like three different topics within like 35 seconds. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And then understanding like why, I would have this pain or this like I never could understand. I didn't understand what anxiety was, and then when I was taught what it was and what it feels like, and I was just like, oh, okay, that's that feeling, that uneasiness that I was having, that the palms sweaty, the things like that, and knowing that I wasn't actually alone, and that especially a sense of being a Black woman or a Black person, period, and experiencing that. But yeah, it's definitely, like I said, been a journey of discovery, and just I'm like 33, still discovering myself, finding myself, and what works for me, what doesn't work for me. Um, like most recently this week, I learned that coffee affects my ADHD different from other people.
You
Makes
said
me feel more
coffee?
anxious. Yeah, it's caffeine. Like I was drinking a lot of caffeine, a lot of coffee, because with my new job, I have to wake up a little bit earlier in the morning. But it was causing me not to have restful sleep. It was causing me to be more anxious during the day. And being a bit, it was like making me forget a lot of things, like just normal tasks that I would do. The whole walking in the room and forgetting what you're in there for was like times 20. And then I was like, you know what, let me just stop drinking coffee for the week, and just everything kind of fell back in place. So like it's just discovering what works. What works for one person doesn't work for the next, and things like that. So yeah.
That's wild. It makes sense that, caffeine, it hypes you up and makes you energetic. So it makes sense that like that would overstimulate your already overstimulated mind to the point where it's like the episode of SpongeBob where they're like running around, everything's on fire. We forgot his name.
Exactly how my brain was. Exactly how it was. Yeah.
Yeah. So how did those diagnoses, how did those affect your life and kind of change your viewpoint on how you address things and relationships and the like and such?
Well, within myself, I started to give myself more grace. kind of do more research and understand things. As far as like relationships and things like that, just being a little forthcoming when relationships get to a certain level. Just kind of explaining like, I might forget some shit. You know what I'm saying? Or I might be just looking you dead in your face one day and you telling me you having a deep conversation and I might tune out, but it's not you, it's me. So definitely having to have those conversations and giving yourself grace and really trying to figure out, like I said, what works best for you. And just having a partner that's understanding and willing to go on this journey with you is definitely helpful and key.
Hard.
Yeah. Definitely somebody's going to be understanding. And in the sense of being understanding and giving you grace, but also making sure that they're taking care of themselves as well is important. I believe so. With dealing with anxiety, depression, and ADHD. So
yeah, hold on. Speaking of partners, to come on.
Hey.
Hello. You want to
remember when we were doing Urban Proper, and I was like, "There's not an episode that goes by you don't talk about your man, my man."
He always talking about my man every single episode. Yes, I was actually saying to, I forget who exactly I was talking to. I was like, it's so nice to have a partner that is also neurodivergent. Mm-hmm. So because there's already, you start the relationship with a level of understanding, and obviously as the relationship goes through, and nobody's neurodivergence is the same as anybody else's. Mm-hmm. But you kind of learn how each other ebbs and flows, and like triggers and all this other things, and it just is. It's really, really nice, which is like a weird thing to say, but it's like
it is. I think it just makes everything just like you said. It's that level of understanding, and then like recognizing triggers, like when your partner might feel overstimulated and things like that. Even the things you pick up over time, but I think it's important to just like have an open conversation with anything in your relationship.
Yes,
an open and honest conversation. Ask questions too, like like you said, two neurodivergent people aren't the same, and triggers might be different, and it, just and just learning not to take it personal, but also like if your partner hurts you when they're having these moments, definitely finding that time to let them know, because also you have to make sure that you're taking care of yourself at the same time.
And mental illness does not excuse being an asshole. A lot of people try to be like, well, I'm mentally ill. Okay, well, you still an asshole. Like
that part.
Like, I'm mentally ill too, bitch, and I'm only an asshole when I need to be. You're being an asshole for no reason, and you cannot blame mental illness.
Like, dang, I just asked you if you wanted some ice cream, and you said, damn, my mama got some fat ass ankles. Like, what my mama got to do with it?
Not the cankles. Not you came from Mama Cankles. No. Not in this house.
Not in this house.
Not in this house. You will get tore the fuck up. Talking about my Mama Cankles.
Okay.
I miss you so much all the time.
I miss you too.
So you talked a little bit about just like really, really briefly, you mentioned therapy. How has therapy been helpful to you? Are you still in therapy? Are you gonna go back to therapy?
I have to. I have been planning to get back to therapy. It's been a while. But therapy definitely, like I said, it opened my eyes to my diagnoses, and just gave myself a better understanding of the why things happen the way they did coming up, why I react to certain situations the way I do. And it just gave me an outlet to just talk about the things where I felt like I couldn't, because being a Black woman and growing up in a matriarchal family where the women were the head of the family, it was some things that just like I just felt like I was wearing the weight of the world on my shoulder, and I just felt like I couldn't just talk about it because I felt like I was going to be perceived as being weak, because unfortunately, Black women aren't looked at through that lens. So that was something I really struggled with, and learning to be to step more into my identity and my soft life as well. And the hustler mentality is like, you don't necessarily need it. You
I
don't need it.
know.
You don't need, yeah, things like that. Because oh my goodness, at one point in time, yeah, I was just working, burning the candle from all ends and burning the fuck out all the time. And yeah, so yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
But yeah, definitely, therapy has been an outlet. And it's just like, some things you can't share with other people, unfortunately, and it's just giving that safety, that's that conversation, that safe environment where you don't feel like you're being judged or you don't feel like it's going to be used against you later. So yeah.
Yeah, I have also been meaning just to, because I still don't drive, and I've talked about it in probably every single episode. Trauma is the reason I don't drive, and it even just being in the car makes me feel like, but
Mm-hmm.
I keep saying like I need to, I actually really do need to get on it where like I get into therapy and work through this issue, because not to say that everybody needs to be, there's a time limit and blah 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 blah, because
Yeah.
fuck that, we're getting all that shit in 2023. We're not putting time limits on people's life and growth and what they do and don't do and why they do and don't do it. No, thank you.
Never.
But I personally have so many things that I do all the time. It would just be so much easier if I could just get up and go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, and that judgment free zone, that feeling and being able to share with somebody who's going to be impartial.
Mm-hmm.
What do you look for in a therapist? What's something that is like, are your requirements for somebody that you're seeing as a therapist?
I laugh, but it's not funny. But the therapist has to be able to relate to me at a cultural level. And saying that is, I mean, even though I am, have Latino blood, I was raised as being an African American woman. So African American, definitely somebody that can relate to me on a cultural level, that understands what I go through in the workplace, the microaggressions, understands what I'm going through as a Black woman, in this day and age, and those are the things that are definitely requirements for me. Queer, I'll be happy if I can find a queer Black woman therapist. That would be amazing. But yeah, definitely those are my requirements.
Honestly, fucking same. Like I have been on the search for a queer Black, and personally, for me, I cannot go to therapy with somebody who is religious.
Yeah.
Nope.
Can't
And
do it.
just simply being a therapist is already like kind of removed from religion, and like the way we both were brought up religious. Pray it away. Would you, all of that nonsense. I need somebody who's gonna not mention God to me. We don't need to talk about God. Like, we don't need to bring God into this. I do believe in a higher power, whatever. I am not religious. I am not a Christian. I cannot claim any of those things. But I just need somebody who can truly just meet me here.
Yeah.
Without all the extra fluff. So that's been a struggle in finding a queer Black female presenting therapist who ain't about that life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And actually, this is a pretty good spot for us to stop and talk about the sponsor of today's video, BetterHelp. Today's episode of Mental Health Chat Monday is brought to you by BetterHelp. With BetterHelp, the world's largest 100% online therapy service, you can get connected with a therapist and a network of over 25,000 licensed and experienced therapists to help you with a wide range of issues. When I signed up for BetterHelp, I was able to specify exactly what I was looking for in a therapist, and I was matched with a therapist that suited my needs. To get started, all you do is answer a few questions about your therapy needs and preferences. That way, BetterHelp can match you with the perfect therapist from their network. From there, contacting your therapist is easy. Call, chat, video call, or text, whatever is more comfortable for you. Message your therapist at any time to set up live sessions when it's convenient for you. And the coolest thing about BetterHelp is that if your therapist doesn't match for any reason at all, you can switch to a brand new therapist at no additional charge. Affordability, online access at your own pace, custom pick therapists. That sounds like my kind of therapy. And what luck you have. You can get 10% off your very first month of BetterHelp using my link, betterhelp.com/MHCM. That's betterhelp.com/MHCM. Now go ahead and get yourself some therapy, baby. And thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode. All right. Thank you so much, BetterHelp, for sponsoring this episode, this whole season of the podcast. We really, really, really appreciate it. Make sure you hit that link down below and support the channel. It helps a lot. So let's talk. I gotta put my questions back up because I forgot.
It's okay.
So, do you have any history with medication at all? What's the tea on that?
Oh yeah. When I was first diagnosed with anxiety and depression, don't get me try to pronounce it. I was prescribed 2 medications. When I took them, oh my goodness, I felt like I had I was on the moon. I felt like I was on the moon. I could like concentrate. I felt like I had just had one of our nights after a long shift at the boathouse, and we was out at 4:00 in the morning. And I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. So since then, since realizing that, and like I said, this whole mental health thing has been a journey. Have experimented with different strains of marijuana. Sativa to see what works best for my anxiety and doesn't make me feel paranoid. So yeah, and living in Oklahoma, hey, medical weed, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's definitely been the method I have gone to combat my anxiety.
I love it, just about every guest I've had, not every guest, but most guests that I've had who tried medication and it didn't work for them, or it did work for them, smoke weed too.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't partake in the devil's lettuce, and not because I'm approved or anything like that. I just, A, like calling it the devil's lettuce, and B, have desire to try. But I love that this natural method of, soothing and helping to abet mental illness. I love that it exists, and I love that it is finally becoming like accessible to all people, and not this taboo, horrible thing that people are like, you smoke weed, it's a gateway drug.
Yeah, so many different benefits to weed, not only just anxiety and depression, but pain management. People with Parkinson's disease. There's different methods of partaking in marijuana too. You don't have to feel high, but yeah, it's definitely it's from the earth. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to do nothing but dry it out and break it down a little bit, and roll it up. No.
Suddenly became a tutorial. We love.
But no, one strain that really helps me out, we have a listener that's been wondering, it's Ghost Train strain. Has really helped me with my anxiety and be able to focus if I do partake when I'm working on a project after hours or something like that. So yeah.
Heard that. Ghost Train strain. We love to hear it and see it. It sounds spooky.
It makes you feel goofy. You know what I'm saying? Calms you down without feeling overly sleepy, and that's one part of me. Because when you think about me, I'm fall asleep.
Oh, I remember. I remember many a night.
Okay, listen.
So talk to me a little bit about one thing I feel like I haven't really addressed a lot on the podcast is coping skills and coping mechanisms. So talk to me a little bit about things you do to cope to help I guess, ease your anxiety outside of, partaking in the devil's lettuce? Or what are some things that help you feel at ease?
When it comes to anxiety, besides, we were talking about, like you said, devil's lettuce. Definitely just being able to step away from a situation, like work. For instance, right now I'm in project management and dealing with a lot of different personalities, a lot of different cultural differences, a lot of people with different accents that I'm not used to. And so that at one point that really caused a lot of anxiety for me. But being able to really step away and kind of look in the mirror too, and have to remind myself that I'm a bitch. But in all seriousness, that's one of my mechanisms. Like when I'm battling with like anxiety or imposter syndrome, just kind of reminding myself of the things that I've accomplished, the things that I've done, and who I am. It really kind of helps reground me. Definitely get in the mirror like Issa on Insecure.
Mm-hmm.
I not gotta recenter myself. Other than that, ooh, massages. Anything that's gonna 5 days. Anything that's gonna help relax me. I'm definitely a spa girl. Okay. Okay. Listen, a good bathhouse. But yeah, definitely things that I just enjoy that's gonna help me relax my mind, my body. And also video games. I'm a gamer. I'm a
Yeah.
big gamer. Sometimes I just want to get on Fortnite and shoot some lasers and some things. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? So yeah.
Is Fortnite worth my time?
Fortnite is, if you didn't play Call of Duty,
I did not.
then you're probably not gonna like it. Yeah.
But I don't dislike games like that. I just am like,
It can be a little frustrating. It can be a little frustrating. I think if you're gonna venture down doing Fortnite, then you definitely should dabble in a first shooter game first, so you can understand how people that you encounter in the game world are going to react.
mhm.
So you can kind of get that reaction time down.
See, that's the aspect of it that I think I don't like is I don't want to interact with other people.
That's what the goal basis of the game is, to be the last person. You got to battle everybody else. Then the aspect of building something around you while trying not to get shot is annoying to me. I messed with Fortnite for a little bit, but give me a good adventure game like Assassin's Creed or something like
Yeah,
yes,
that's my
or a
shit.
good Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, you know what I like. I like
Yeah.
the Assassin's Creed, the God of Wars. But I do also dibble dabble in like a first person shooter every now and then. Like it's not out of my wheelhouse, but it really is the like having to like be online and interact with other humans on the
Mm,
internet. Like video game people,
are a whole different breed of people.
that's the whole reason I don't play Pokemon competitive because I
Oh my
truly and
god.
honestly could, but these people are
People
crazy.
on the internet, period. Like there are literal diagnoses for these people.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a whole different world. It's just a mess.
I We'll see what I do. I need to get a PS5 first before I do anything, but
I
that's wrong.
definitely need to upgrade. I've been cheap. But I need to upgrade because that's something that makes me happy, playing games and kind of focusing on something else.
Yes. Yes, and you have to make yourself happy, and you have to focus on the light.
Definitely have to make
Too.
yourself up. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And also self care. Get my nails done and my feet done. Really pouring back into myself helps kind of level me out and ease that anxiety.
Yes. Love it. Love
Yeah.
it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. What am I talking about? Where is my brain?
It's okay.
Okay. So on Mental Health Chat Monday, we have a motto, and it goes, "We are turning mental illness into mental wellness." What is your definition of mental wellness?
Ooh, mental wellness. That's a great question. Can
Thank you.
we
I wrote it
ponder
back
on?
up.
Let me ponder on this a little bit before I just give a knee jerk reaction.
Yeah, think about it.
Yeah. Um, First thing that comes to mind is just like I was alluding to earlier, it's just realizing that mental wellness is a journey. It's not a destination. There's going to be
Ooh,
the
yes.
the ebbs and flows. You're going to have the bad days with the good days, and just making sure just the slightest thing, celebrating the small wins. If you're not feeling it, if you're feeling yourself, giving yourself grace, being able to, if you're able to, if you're not feeling like going to work, call in, bitch. Take that day off. Because if you go to work and you snap on Susie and Billy and Tom, you ain't gonna have no job. So it's beneficial to take that day off and rest. And if you just having it continuously happening, definitely just know that at the end of it, everything's gonna be okay. The things that's keeping you down, you're bigger than that. Um, like I always tell myself when I'm having these moments, like, and me, I like to cuss a lot. I cuss like a sailor. And just have to remind myself, like, bitch, there's not shit you can't do in this world. You're having a bad day, you're having a bad moment, you're having a bad week. It's okay. Um, it's okay to step away from like goals that you're achieving, and just it's not everything's not a race.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially, it's a journey, and yeah, that's what I got.
Oh, something you said really hit me right in my chest when you said it's a journey, not a destination.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because a lot of people think like going to therapy and getting all those medications or finding that thing that helps you with whatever mental health illness you have. It's not just a pill that's going to make everything go away.
Mm-hmm.
Like for the spiritual people that say all the time, but they don't necessarily work towards it. The person that works is dead. Mental
Yeah.
health wellness without actually working towards it is dead. It's a continuous thing you have to do and get up every day. And basically, it's a battle within yourself. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That is so true. And it's not, it sounds sad to say that, it's not something that'll go away, that depression, that anxiety, that, whatever thing you have isn't something that's going to go away. But it also is really empowering to acknowledge that, okay, I have this thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is mine, and I have the power over it.
Yeah.
And, it might get me with the 1-2 every now and then. But
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, I am the one who is in control of this life, this body, this mind. I got this.
Yes. Yes.
I got
Yes.
this.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Absolutely. Absolutely love that. Excuse me. I got one more question for you. It's not really a question, it's more of a like statement. Leave us with a piece of advice for allies of the mental health community. How can they be there for us, support us, and be in our corner?
Mm. By realizing that there's not just a one size fit all approach to mental health. Understanding that, like we talked about earlier, each neurodivergent person needs different things. And just being able to separate the moments from when people are being, like we said earlier, a true asshole, and actually just having a moment and it's being like overstimulated. Just learning the triggers and asking questions and learning how to be there for whoever in your life is experiencing mental illness and just showing up.
Showing up and showing out.
Showing out, yeah.
Show up and show out. Sheesh, thank you so much for being on this episode of the podcast with me today.
We finally got it down. We finally did it.
We finally did it. We've been trying to nail this down for so long. Life really has been life lately. Like,
yeah.
a lot. So I'm glad we actually did finally get to sit down and have this conversation that we have had so many times and we'll
Oh
have so many
yeah.
more times. And
Oh, and another thing, allies. Sorry to cut you off.
oh,
My
please
ADHD
go.
brain. Realize that sometimes it's not about you.
Mm,
A lot of people think because I haven't talked to my friend in a couple of weeks that it's about you. It's not. Sometimes your friend doesn't want to bleed onto you. They don't want to transfer that energy that they're feeling on you. Because I've had those moments before where I've just went completely. I couldn't do it.
mm-hmm.
But I'm glad that I've had friends that understand that it's not them, it's me. I know sometimes it's hard to adjust to that and understand that, but
Yeah.
yeah, people have their own battles. Yeah.
And that's all part of giving yourself grace too. Like
Mm-hmm.
I know for me, one of my big triggers is feeling like a burden.
Mm-hmm.
And like if I'm in a mood, I'm in a way, and you don't hear from me, it's because I don't want to burden you with the things that I have. And people will always be like, but you got to talk about it. You got to talk it out. Well, sometimes I need to just sit with it before I
And
talk
it's
about it.
yeah, it needs to get stanky in it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, sometimes you got to funk. Sometimes you, hey,
yeah,
I am a
the
proponent of a funk.
eyebrows gotta grow out, and you gotta fight it. You gotta overcome it.
Yeah, yeah. And then you can talk about it. And I do, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm a proponent of funking it out, and I'm a proponent of talking about it after you've had your funk. Don't sit and fester in the funk for too long.
You sit in shit too long. You don't smell it no more.
Right, exactly. But
Same
also
thing with
don't
Jennifer
force
Lewis did.
don't force nobody to talk about shit that they're not ready to talk about, because
That part.
that's not how it works. It don't work like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's one of the most important things in our friendship is giving each other grace and giving ourselves grace and just laughter and joy and
Yeah.
drinks and
A sense
night
of community too. Like,
yeah.
yeah, like I was telling Duke, for the listeners that don't know, Duke's my partner, my girlfriend. Um, I think I went through recently, I'll share with you guys, like a really dark time. And I think it was really me missing that sense of community, me missing my St. Louis family, which is my friend I've had for a long time. I was just like, yeah, I think that's what's wrong with us millennials. Our that sense
Yeah.
of community within like our own family, within our friendships. We get older, we get busy,
Mhm.
we get more focused on self and building for ourselves. That sometimes we lose that sense of community. We lose each other, and they can attribute to it too. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's really difficult, especially, as we're in our 30s now,
Oh God.
making time.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear people and see people post online all the time. You make time for things you want to make time for, which is true to an extent. But sometimes you really truly are just like going, going, going. And our society doesn't want us to stop going.
Yeah.
So we're like, while simultaneously trying to fight that societal idea that your output is your only worth,
Mm-hmm.
but you
Yeah.
also are enjoying the work that you're doing. So it's
Yeah.
like, I don't want to keep feeding into the machine, but I'm having a good time with the things that I'm doing. Where's the middle? Where do you find the median? And I think also
Yeah.
with millennials, like we don't, of course, I can't say this for myself specifically because I have a very good relationship with my mom, but my relationship with my dad is not great. We don't relate
Mm-hmm.
to our parents and the generation before us the way
No.
they did with their parents. And it's because their parents forced them to relate with them. But
Yeah.
millennials are like, you
Hell
did me
no.
dirty and I don't have to accept that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like,
It's like we're forcing them to look in the mirror. I think Gen X, well, at least my parent is a Gen Xer.
mhm,
I think they kind of started it a little bit with in a very passive aggressive way, right? Like
mhm.
keeping your daughter away from Uncle Timmy, that's a known, pedophile and things like that, but not really explaining the why. I feel like millennials were like, we're gonna do this, but we're also gonna tell you about your damn self. Like,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah. So we don't have that family dynamic the way we even had it as kids. Cause I remember my family is so much different now than when we were kids.
yeah,
And it's such a drastic difference that sometimes I find myself being like, I don't have any family. Like, I don't have anybody
That
like, I have a lot of family. I have so much family, but I don't relate to them as much as I used to. Like, outside of my siblings and my mom.
Yeah, oftentimes I feel like an alien, even within my siblings and my close knit family, my immediate family is what I'm actually looking for. So yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's wild out here in these streets. It's real wild out here in these streets. Like,
it is, yeah.
We really be raw dog in life without anybody really to help us through it.
No. Nope. And then it's just like everything has been against us this whole time. It's just like, damn, yes, we're mentally ill and broke.
We broke. We mentally ill. We have lived through too many life-changing world events.
Oh my God, another fucking recession is nigh.
Like, can we have a break? Can we have a break, please?
I think that's the thing too. Like, especially getting to a level like a salary, like you're like always shooting for, and then getting there and being like, this ain't shit because of inflation.
Like, I got here and I'm still struggling.
I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
All the while being told by the older generations that we're lazy, we ain't shit.
We don't want to work. We don't want to do. No, we don't want to work for peanuts. Like,
thank you. I'm
not
not working on the weekend, Susie. I'm on vacation. I'm not taking your call. I don't give a fuck about this 7 a.m. meeting. I'm not gonna be on there.
Yep. Like, you can tell me all you want to about some work on the weekend, but as for me,
yeah,
no. You need me to come in and work what? No.
Yeah, and I think we millennials setting those boundaries, those hard boundaries, make the older generations feel very uncomfortable. But I think it's very important. Like, it sucks. Setting boundaries. Yeah, it doesn't feel good telling people no. I'm telling people, no, here's a set of rules that I have in place for you. You have to respect that. It's an uncomfortable situation, but it's very important to your mental health and to just to your self-worth and respect too. Like, how that ties into each other.
Because we can't possibly be expected to function at full capacity if we're giving all of ourselves to something that's not ourselves.
That part. If our heart ain't in it, we can't give it. We can't. It's not sustainable. It's not
at all. It's like capitalism. It's not fucking sustainable.
I'm all fucking tired. Like, what?
I'm tired. I just want to go on vacation 6 months out of the year, twice. I want 2 6-month vacations
for $1,000, all inclusive.
Exactly. I don't want to have to pay to get there. I don't want to have to pay to get back. I just want to. What happened to us focusing on like teleportation and flying cars and like being on Mars by 2020? What happened? Why is all of a sudden the focus on
please, I will go down this rabbit hole, and with this episode will turn into 6 episodes. You know how we do.
This is why we started the podcast. This is exactly why.
And we need to get back to it. It's me. It's my fault.
No, it's not just you, because we both are incredibly busy. Like, it took us this long because we both kept crossing lines.
Yep, like
oh, shit, we can do it this day. Oh wait, I can't do it this day because of this. Oh wait, I can't do it this day. Like, it's both of us. So we got plenty of time to figure it out. We will figure it out.
We do.
Yes. Okay. Sheesh, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us on Mental Health Chat Monday. Is there anything you need to plug? Anything you need to tell the children about?
Let's see. Nothing to personally plug, but let me leave you all with this. And I'm gonna say that I think I said this on our a lot of times. Take that vacation. Have them prepare those others. Sometimes you gotta say fuck that job. Okay? Sometimes you really have to. I walked away from, at the time, my highest paying job was $65,000 a year before all the inflation. So I was actually making some money. Because my mental health was fucked up during that job. Take that vacation. They'll be all right. They will be all right. Even if you ain't going nowhere, just lay in the bed, recharge. Because if you drop dead at work, they're gonna have your job posted by the end of the fucking day. These jobs don't give a shit about you.
Yep, that part. That
And
motherfucker.
that's important to your mental health journey.
Absolutely. That y'all better take that message. Y'all better write that on your little affirmation mirror to say to yourself in the morning.
Yes. Fuck their job. I mean, if you need to pay your bills, by all means, make sure you have a little nest egg, but take them days off at least.
Yep. PTO stands for prepare the others, just like you said.
Prepare the others. Prepare the others. And it's okay to start over. It's okay to start over.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. All right, y'all. Well, we're going to get out of here for today. Again, my name is DDare Bionic. You can find me on all social media at DDare Bionic. It's called branding. Look it up. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Thank you so much to BetterHelp for sponsoring these episodes and this podcast.
Sign up for BetterHelp, y'all.
Sign up for BetterHelp. Help a brother out. Thank you very much. And I will see you all next week with a brand new episode. Bye, y'all.
Bye.